Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to be walking you through a tour of a Notion template that I built. I use this template personally and I sell them in my shop, which is the reason why I'm creating this video, to walk you through the template to show you how it is set up and how it works. Before we begin, hello, my name is Asha and I run a really small business called Joyfully Paperless, where I love to make digital planners, digital notebooks, and digital bullet journals. I've been diving deep into Notion for the past few months and I've become obsessed, and I've added products to my shop, and so I thought I would make videos to introduce my audience to this amazing application. Now in this video, I'm going to primarily walk you through a template that I built so you can see how it works, maybe see if it's something you want to use to get you started with Notion. But I won't be doing a lot of teaching in this video. But I did do a lot of teaching in this video you see on the screen called Intro to Notion. In this video, I walk through what Notion is, how to get set up with an account. We talk about content blocks, pages, templates, and we go into depth about databases. So if you are brand new to Notion, this video would be a really great place to start. Now I know I said I wasn't going to do much teaching in this video, but I'm going to do a little teaching because databases can kind of be complex to understand initially. And as we walk through my template, I use a lot of databases like the one you see here. So I don't want you to get lost in the database lingo that I'll be using as I walk you through my template. So let's talk a little bit about what databases are. Databases are like file cabinets in Notion that store a whole bunch of Notion pages. So why do we need this? Why do we need a database to hold Notion pages? Doesn't Notion hold Notion pages? Well, let's say you like to read a lot and you like to create a page for every book you've read to create like a book review. Well, this can become quite a cluttered space over here in the navigation pane if you add a new page every single time you do a book review. So instead of doing it this way, we can just create a database where we can store all of your book reviews. So now all of your book review pages are stored in this database in one nice, neat, organized space. So in the database, in this view, this is how all of your pages would be displayed. So in this database, we have 6 book review pages. Now there are different views in a database. So what we're looking at right now is called the gallery view, where you see all of your pages stacked in these nice, neat cards. There's also the table view. There's also a board view. I'm just showing you different views so that you can see that the databases display information differently, but in each view, we're still just looking at those same 6 pages. So a database just stores pages, and you have different views where you can display that information differently. Again, I won't go into too much detail about these views because I do in the other video, but for this one, just understand you can have different views, and it's all about your preference, different views of how you want the information in your database displayed. So how do you create a new page in a database? Well, you come here and you click on either one of these new buttons. Both of these buttons say new. Now, when you click on these buttons, they kind of behave a little differently, but they essentially do the same thing. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about how they behave differently because I do in the other video. But just know that you can click on either one of these buttons that say new, and it will add a new page to your database. Now let's talk about database pages. Every page in Notion needs a title, and every page in Notion has this area where you can add any content blocks you want. Notion is very flexible. But what is unique about a database page is that they have these things called properties. Properties just help you to categorize, structure, and organize your information in this amazing way. So this is another benefit of using a database. And you can see properties also in the database view. Now, when you hit the new button and you add a new page to your database, you get something like this. This is your new page added to your database. So you see there's a title, and then you see all of your properties, and then just a blank space below where you can add any content blocks you want to add. Now let's say every time you do a book review, you add the same exact content blocks. You know that you want a picture of your book. You know that you want to write about your favorite part. You know you want to write out your review. You create the same exact content blocks every single time. Why not then create a template? If I use these exact same content blocks every time, how about I create a template that already has the content block areas there, and all I have to do is fill in the information? Well, you can do that in databases. You can create templates. So as you can see here, we have pre-filled content blocks ready to receive our data. So if you create a template and add it to your database, you will no longer just see a blank area here when you click the new button. Instead, you will see this. You can create as many templates as you want. So in this example, I've created 3. So if I have created templates, this is where I will have the option to use them when I click the new button. You'll see them listed here. For example, if I decide I want to use this template and I click on this area that says New Book 1, I will then transform this page into this, a template that I created. If I decide that I want this template and I click here, I then transform this page into this. If I decide I want to use this template and I click here, I transform this page into this. You get it. You get it. And if I don't want to use any of the templates for whatever reason on this day, I can click empty. And of course, if I want to add a new template, you see there's an option to do that as well. So as we move forward in my Notion template, my Notion dashboard, I'll be talking about templates as they refer to databases. And now you'll know what I'm talking about. So let's begin. We're going to start with the home page. This is the home page of my Notion template. We have a nice retro clock there. And then we have links to a monthly, weekly, and daily planning page. I have a journal, notebook, and vision board template. Habit tracker, goal planner, fitness tracker. Monthly budget, weekly meal plan, and a project manager. Bookshelf, task manager, and travel planner. These are all of the things I was able to create in the Notion app. Below that area, we have the weather widget, a calendar widget, and a Spotify playlist. And then at the very bottom of the home page, we have a quick notes database. This is just a database for me to be able to add any quick notes that I need, any ideas I need to jot down really quickly throughout the day. So you would just click on the new button to add a page to this database. So let's take a look at our first planning page, the monthly planning page. Of course, I have my nice retro clock here. We have an area for you to write out what you're grateful for, list out your priorities for the month, and your to-do list for the month. We have our calendar area where you can add the different events for your month. We have an image here for aesthetics, of course, a weather widget, and then we have a notes area. You would just click into this gray bar and begin to type out whatever notes you'd like to add. We have a quarterly plans database where you have 4 pages in your database where you can begin to document your plans for that quarter. So if I wanted to begin to enter plans for quarter 1, I would click here and it would open a page. We have our template page here for Q1. I also have a monthly reflection page in this area. So you have a page for every month. So if I wanted to do my monthly reflection for January, I would click here. And then we have this template that pops up where I can begin to document the highlights of the month, achievements, challenges, and obstacles, just an area to do your reflection for that month. And of course, at the bottom of this page, this is your navigation area. So this is at the bottom of every single page except the home page. And what this allows you to do is to quickly and easily jump to any page in this template. Let's look at the weekly planning page. So I have my retro clock. I have some images for aesthetics. We have a calendar so that we always know what week we're in. And then we have a button here. So this is new. So buttons complete a function. So in my template, what this button does is it creates a fresh weekly planning area. So when you click on this button, it will create this area here. Now all of this information here is nested under what is called a toggle heading. You can tell that it's all nested under the toggle heading because it is indented a little to the right. You see how it's indented to the right of that little caret or arrow beside the word week of? So what you're supposed to do is right here, type in the week of January 2nd, the week of May 19th. Just type in whatever week you're in. And then you can begin to jot down your priorities for that week. And of course, we have an area for you to list out all of your activities for each day of the week and a notes area. Now, when you're done with this week, what you're supposed to do is come here, click on that arrow, collapse all of this information. That's what the toggling allows us to do, is to collapse all of this information nested in this toggle heading. And then you will drag it down into this archive area. This archive area is also a toggle heading area. So these toggle headings can kind of serve as folders. So you would drag all of this information here after you collapse it into the archive area. And then you would click on the button to create a fresh new weekly planning area. Next, we have the daily planning page. So we have our calendar, so we always know what day it is. We have our weather widget, and then we have a morning and evening routine dashboard. So if I'm ready to enter information in for my morning routine, I would click here and it would open the morning routine template. And then you can begin to check off things you've completed for your morning. If you want to edit this morning routine, you would click here on the little arrow on the blue new page button. It would open up this menu, and as you can see, I already have a template here that is the default. If you want to edit this template, you would click on these 3 dots, and then you're able to change up this template however you want to. And you would have your edited template going forward. When you're done with your daily routine template, you click on it, delete it, and for the next day, you would just click new, and you have a fresh new template. We have a button that creates our daily planning area. So we have the button that we click it and it creates this new toggle heading area that has all of this information nested in it. What you're to do is type in whatever the date is here. You have an area to enter your intentions for the day, what you're grateful for, today's quote, enter any notes. Of course, you have your scheduling area, priorities for the day, your list for today, and a water tracker. And then when you're done with that day, you would collapse all of that information and drag it into the toggle area. And then you click on your new day button for the next day. You'll have a fresh new daily planning area. All right, then we have our notebook page. Our notebook is a database. So you just click new. Whenever you're ready to add a new note, you would add the title of your note. Our properties for this database include adding the date and selecting the subject. This is a 10 subject notebook, so when you click here, you'll be able to select which subject this note goes into. And then we have some templates here. So for example, if you want to turn this note, if you want to add information into this note using the Cornell Notes template, you would click here and it would change this page into this, a template that's already structured for Cornell style notes. Then we have a sticky note area. As you can see, we have 3 different types of sticky notes. Each sticky note button will create the type of sticky note that you see below it. So if I click on this button, it would create this type of sticky note, for example. You can also look at your notebook in the table view or by subject. This subject area has all of the notes grouped by subject. Again, if you're confused by the idea of grouping, I talk about it in detail in that other video. But you have your subjects grouped on this database view. And if you were to click on this new button, for example, you would be specifically adding a note to subject 1. We have a journaling page in our Notion template. So our journal is a database. You would click on new. You see that the properties for a page in this journaling database include a category for your journal entry and the date. So as you can see, for example, on this journal entry here, the category is Dream Journal, and then we have the date. And of course, you have a list of templates here that have already been created for you. You also have the table view as an option to view all of your pages in this database. Next, we have a vision board. So as you can see, there is a button that will create a fresh new vision board area. So you can create as many vision boards as you want. So right here, you are to type in the name of this vision board. And then we have a bunch of photo content blocks nested in this vision board name area. So when you're ready to add images to build your vision board, you just click on this content block and then you add an image by either uploading it, embedding it, using Unsplash, which is royalty-free images, or Giphy. And then when you're done with your vision board or you're ready to create a new one, you would click here to collapse all of this information, and then you would drag it into the archive section. So by adding images into each one of these content blocks, you can go from this to this. So yes, I love making vision boards. It's really fun. Then we have our habit tracker page. So you have a button because this is something you do for each week. So after you complete each week, you would collapse that information and drag it into the archive section you see down there. So right here in this toggle heading, you are to enter the week that we are entering this information for. The first thing I want to talk about is the mood tracker area. We have everything set up from Monday through Sunday, and then you click along the row and enter how you're doing as far as your mood, stress level, health, and energy level. And then we have our habit tracker, where we have our list of habits here along this first column. All of these check boxes represent a day of the week. So this is Monday through Sunday, for example. If you want to add any new habits, you can do so by clicking the new button. And of course, you check boxes as you complete the habits that you have chosen to complete for the week. And we have a progress bar over here that gradually changes and fills in as you complete your habits for the week. Now let's talk about our goal planner. In our goal planner template, we have two databases, one for quarterly goals and one for individual goals. So I've done something different with these databases that I haven't shown you so far with my template. With these two databases, they are connected. So this database here, the quarterly goals database, has been turned into a property on the individual goals database. I'll say that again. The quarterly goals database has been turned into a property on the individual goals database. So let's take a look at that. Let's say that I click on the Q1 page in the quarterly goals database. We have our template where we can jot down what went well this quarter and what we need to learn for this quarter. But as you go up here to this property up here, it says goals, and somehow we already have individual goals set up here. Where did these come from? Well, if you look at these goals here, it's the same thing that it says in the individual goals area. How is that? Well, for these goals here, I planned them for Q1. We planned them for Q1, and since these two databases are connected, when I selected Q1 along these rows, it knew to connect it to this Q1 page. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the individual goals database. We have 3 pages here. When you add a new page, you just write out what the goal is. You jot down or select what type of goal it is. You're able to select the status of that goal. And of course, we have the planned for property, where you indicate which quarter you plan to reach this goal. When you click Add a Page to that database, we have 2 different types of templates that you can choose from: a New Goals template and a Smart Goals template. Now let's talk about the fitness tracker. On this page, we also have 2 databases that are connected to each other. We have the workout plan database and the workout video database. So with the workout video database, this is just a collection of videos that you like to work out to. So for each page, you are to embed a YouTube video, for example. So I'm going to open up this page, the 15-minute cardio page. So this is a page where we just have a YouTube video embedded on that page. So as you can see, all you do here is add a title and then you embed the video using the embed content block. And pretty much what this database serves as is a library of workout videos. You would have all of your workout videos in one place instead of having to go into YouTube and search for the video and do it all there, then come back to Notion and track what you did. So you just have your own library of workout videos. So up here in the weekly workout plan, this is the calendar view in this database. So this will automatically update every week. When you're ready to add in your workout plan, you would just hover over the day of the week and you would see this plus sign appear. You click on it and then you have this page that pops up. This is how you add a new page to your weekly workout view. You add your date and then you click on the workout to choose the type of workout you're going to do for this week. You can select the intensity of that workout. And then you can select the video that you're going to do if you do one of the videos for this workout. So as you can see, all the videos listed here are the same as the videos here because these two databases are connected. So anytime you add a new video to that workout video database, it will appear here in this property. And then you have a place to add notes. All right, now let's talk about the monthly budget template. These two databases are not connected, but we have this database here where you just list all of your income sources. You can see you have the description of the source, the amount, the date that you expect to receive those funds, and an area for notes. And then you have an area here where you can sum up all of your income sources. Then you have a monthly expenses area. So one of your views is for you to enter all of your recurring monthly expenses. This view is to input all of your monthly spending. So these are the things that are not recurring, just things that you did this month. You went to go get your nails done. You went to the movies. These are not bills or anything. It's just what you happen to spend for this month to keep track of your spending. This is a calendar view. So as you notice in the monthly spending, we have a property that says the date you spent it. In the recurring monthly expenses, you have a property that says date due. And when you enter those dates, they will appear here in the calendar. And then you have this area where everything is all together so you can see everything you have spent for that month, the recurring monthly bills and your spending all in one place. So right here we have our meal plan page. The first thing I want to point to is the meal plan database, and this is where you will enter all of your meals for the week. Once again, we have that weekly planning view, so this will update automatically every week because it is the calendar view of your week. When you're ready to add in your plan for the day, you hover over the day, just like you did in the fitness planner. You click on that plus sign, and then you have your template page. So you can see the properties are the date. It's already filled in since you clicked on a day on the calendar. The other property you get to enter is the meal, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing you want to do is choose a template. What meal is this? Breakfast, lunch, snack, or dinner? Once you choose that, then you come up here to the property. So I selected dinner. Like I said, the date is already filled in. And then you add the meal for dinner. You click here, and then there is this list of meals already pre-populated. Where did this list come from? You guessed it. This is connected to another database. It's connected to the meals database. So this is just an area where you create a library of meals, and anything you add to this database will show up here in this list. All right, so when you add a new page to the meals database, this is the template you see. The only property here is type of meal, so you want to put whether this is breakfast, lunch, dinner, or snack, just to help organize all of your meals. You'll have that list there. And then below you see where you can add the ingredients for that meal and the instructions. So it's like a recipe card, grocery list all in one. And once you add it to this database, it'll be there forever. And you can have a library of meals to add to your meal plan database. This is just what it looks like when I click on the beef stir fry page. As you can see, we have the type, it's dinner, we have our ingredients, and we have our instructions. This area is just the grocery list. So you can see we have everything broken out into categories. and then you just add to your list as needed. Now let's talk about the project planner page. So in this page, we only have one database. In this area, we have some images and a timer to help us with productivity. Now let's talk about this database. In this view here that says projects, this is where you add your projects. You add a new project by coming here and clicking on add a group. So when you add a group, you're adding a new project. So let's say I clicked on this button and I added a group and I named it Project 1. Now below Project 1 is where I begin to add my task for the project. So we are to add the description of the task, the due date, and the status. And you add a task by clicking on this new button. So this is what it looks like when I have added some task to my project. Let's say I want to do another project. If I want to add a second project, I would come down to the bottom and once again click on add a group. So there we have Project 1 and Project 2, and they each have their individual task listed beneath them. So here we have our two projects neatly grouped. Now if I wanted to add an additional task to Project 1, I would click on this new button. If I wanted to add an additional task to Project 2, I would click on this button. So you see how everything is neatly grouped. So these new buttons are very strategic. This button will add it specifically to Project 1. This will add it to Project 2. And if I want to add a third project, a fourth project, a fifth project, I would always go down and click on the add a group button. When you want to add new projects, you click on add a group. And then once you've added your group, you click on the new button within those groups to create tasks. And then as you go along and document where you are as status-wise with your projects, we have this completion area where it will give you a % complete based on what you fill in the status property. In this view, we just have the task list. This view contains all of the tasks, no matter what project they're a part of. So if you just want to see all of the tasks you need to complete regardless of the project, you could come to this view. This is the timeline view, so you can kind of see when things are due in a linear calendar view. So we have Project 1 here with the task laid out chronologically, and we have Project 2 with the task listed there as well. Then you have all of your tasks by status, so you can see how many tasks you've actually completed, how many tasks are in progress. And then we have this archived area. So I know you noticed that archive column, and I didn't say anything about it until now. So when you check something off as archived, it will automatically be moved to this view. So you see how this new task B in the archive column, it was checked on, it was clicked on, and you see that check mark there. That's why this one task was moved to this view. So let me show you how this works. So we're here in the projects view, and I'm going to begin clicking on the archive checkbox beside some tasks. And you see as I click, they disappear. As I click on the archive checkbox, tasks disappear, and that's because they are now here in this archived area. But if I uncheck them, they go back over here to the projects area. All right, now let's talk about the bookshelf. So we saw this before as I was introducing databases to you, but this is where we will enter our book reviews into a database. So we have all of these views, and when you want to add a new page, you click on a new button, and then you add your title and you fill in your properties. So in the gallery view, of course, we have pictures of the books that we have read. I just like to take a screenshot of the book from Amazon, and then I upload it into this image content block. And whatever you upload into this image content block is what you're going to see as the picture in the gallery view. Now let's talk about the task tracker or the task manager. This is different than the project manager. This is just various tasks. They're not associated with the project. It's just a good way to manage tasks that come up that you need to complete. So you just list out a description of your task. You can document the priority level of those tasks, the due date, and the status. And of course, we have an area where you can check off each task when it's complete and move it to the archive area. We have the sticky notes again on this page. So remember, you have a button that will create the sticky note below it. Then we have our travel planner. So this is really fun. Right here, you would indicate where your trip is going to be. So trip 2, this one says Paris, France, but you would type in wherever you plan to travel. The first database is a to-do list. So this is where you list out everything you need to do to get ready for this trip. And when you have completed that thing on the to-do list, you would check it here and it would move everything to this view, very similar to the archive view that we saw with the project manager and the task manager. Here we have a packing list. Here we have an itinerary where your properties are, the location, the date, and you take any notes with the plans that you have for your trip. Then we have the trip budget where you can tally up or total up all of the cost for your trip. And then we have a trip memories area where you can create a new page and type out different memories you want to journal about and add any images from your trip to a specific spot. And that is all for this Notion template walkthrough. This is the template that I have been using to keep my life organized and to plan and to dream. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you're interested in this template, you can visit joyfullypaperless.com and get started with Notion. It's a really amazing app. I look forward to continuing to make videos, sharing what I've learned about this amazing technology, and I hope everyone is having a great day. See you next time.